There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With even more exclusive content, with over 150 channels in your vehicle, including the widest, deepest variety of music, ad-free. Root for your team. Get news. Listen to whatever makes you laugh. And hear all about your favorite stars. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels filled with music and enjoy a favorite shows with SiriusXM Video. Thousands of hours of shows and performances on demand. What you love is on now.
If you're in the market to find a really solid lighting partner and supplier, then you should take a look at today's brand. They've got you pretty much covered, from LED bulbs to off-road lighting, marine to even switching. We're talking about RACESPORT lighting, and we've got President Steve Jergensen in the studio with us to share not only some brand new product that you're going to find, but also give us every reason why you need to partner up with RACESPORT lighting this season. This is CMA Showcase presented by SiriusXM, RACESPORT Lighting, and it starts now. What's going on, everybody? And thanks for tuning in to CMA Showcase presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Now, we are, of course, covering lighting systems. And one of the big players in this segment is, of course, RACESPORT Lighting. Now, you might have heard of this brand. I'm pretty sure you have, because their catalog is quite complete. We've had the opportunity to have them on the show previously. And not only do they have a complete line of lighting solutions, I mean, that's not the only thing. These guys are innovators. They're always trying to come up with different solutions, different styles that really add to their catalog and really make them unique and stand out within the category. Now, let's get this conversation started with their recently appointed, I should say recently, it's been, I think, about a year. We'll let him clarify that. His name is Grant McFadden, representing Trends Electronics, and he's their National Sales Director. Was I right? Is it about a year now that you've been partnered?
Coming up. I don't think it's quite a year, but it's close.
Okay. It was then and around there. Most more
get a birthday cake out anyway.
Yeah, there you go. The most important part is, if you want RACESPORT lighting in Canada, you talk to Trends. You talk to you and your team over there. Grant, great to have you on. I feel like it's been a minute. I kind of miss you.
Been a while. Been a month, maybe. Been a while.
Has it been? It feels like longer, but anyhow, that doesn't matter, because RACESPORT lighting is such a clutch player within the game, and I feel, offer quite the complete solution. And I'd like to hear in your words why you feel RACESPORT lighting is such an ideal partner for dealers.
Well, a complete solution is probably a bit of an understatement. I mean, there's not much they don't cover as far as lighting goes. One of the big reasons we looked at RACESPORT was our mission statement, our vision, for the company is to create an incredible immersive experience of sound and light in any environment. And at the time, we didn't have any specific lighting products. So why not go out and get the big animal? And RACESPORT's definitely that. I mean, they for any market we cover, whether it's car audio, marine audio, off-road, ATV, golf carts, they touch everything, man. They are a beast.
A beast, to say the least. Now, and I don't want our dealers to misconstrue having a wide catalog for not having really unique solutions as well and being innovators within the market. I feel that RACESPORT is one of those brands that really have a good grasp on what their market is and always want to push the envelope. And that shines through in what we're going to cover today, and some of the new innovative product that Steve's going to talk to us about, as well as some of the patent stuff. I mean, they've got a lot of patents, which says something, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the big things when you look at the amount of patents they have. They're not a Me Too brand that go out and have some factory copy somebody else's product. They own the patents on a lot of their products. So that shows big on their innovation and dedication to the category, for sure.
Amazing. All right. Well, without further ado, we've got the man himself in the studio waiting. We're going to go ahead and get him in here. Mr. Steve Jergensen. How are you, sir?
Doing good. How's it going, Ben?
Going great. Yeah. I don't know about you, Steve, where you are, but man, Is it me, or is that sun going down earlier and earlier every night?
Lighting season is here
Mhm.
and
It's
coming.
definitely here.
hard.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I remember, like, for us being up north, and you as well, when it gets dark early and it starts getting cold, you start thinking about remote start, right? That was kind of like the go-to. But I love how remote start and lighting is kind of sharing that same timeline. And it really wakes people up, say, oh man, I got to do something about my lights, especially if I have a new vehicle and it's a subpar. I need to get this done now. There's like a rush, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of shops use lighting as their accessories to remote car starters, right? They're selling the car starter as their primary product, and then hey, while you're here, fix your lighting because you've got these, 1986 halogen bulbs in your car that don't light up squat. So
exactly. Do you see that same trend in the States, Steve?
Absolutely. Actually, I've been preaching that for several years to a lot of our resellers and some of our distributors that have shows that, hey, I see you guys are having a remote start show. You should be having a lighting show. Matter of fact, that's where Ignacio's at right now. He's at a remote start expo, training on lighting there.
Oh, well, there you go. That's exactly what it is. Remote start and lighting, hand in hand. Okay, Steve, we know your time is precious, but we've got a lot to talk about. Give us an overview. What's new at RACESPORT, man? I know you've kind of saved up, and we're about to drop it right here.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, since we've been on last year was a little bit more of an intro with our partnership with Trends, and that was great. So hopefully everybody watched that. This year we're gonna dive in a little bit deeper, and we got a lot of new things, but we're gonna focus on some patented niche, made in USA type products that are very exclusive to us, and our solutions to the marketplace, most importantly. And I think the resellers watching this will appreciate those solutions and be giving Grant a call.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point. What are the categories that we'll be covering today, Steve?
We're going to go over actually cab clearance lights, which is something.
Wait, did you say cab clearance lights?
Truck cab clearance lights. Absolutely.
Yep.
But not just any. A patented solution.
Okay.
Wireless, solar. We'll talk.
You saw the look on my face, right, when you said cab clearance lights.
Absolutely. Do you want some for your truck?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, full disclosure. I think cab clearance lights are the coolest things ever. I am always envious of trucks when they pass me on the road and they have cab clearance lights. Ask me now if I would ever put that in my own truck.
Would you ever put that in your truck?
No, I don't want to drill holes on the top of my cab, and nor will I find anybody that's willing to do it for me. So it's kind of like, no, I kind of passed on it because it's like, that's not something that's realistic, in my opinion. Right. So wireless, I'm very curious to see where that goes. Okay.
You're gonna like what I got to show you then.
All right. Fair enough. What else?
We're definitely going to talk about our Gen 4 patented LED headlights that actually have 4 patents on them. We did talk about this briefly before last year, but we made a few adjustments on there and actually got another patent on it. So there's some new things to talk about with that, as it's an exclusive high performance premium LED headlight kit.
Very, very cool.
So
now there's whispers, because I've seen something come by on my social media about some type of switching system that you've kind of come up with. Is that out yet? Are we talking about that today?
Another solution-based product. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Not a lighting product in itself, but a control system to control up to 8 lighting systems. There's something very unique and exclusive about that compared to what else is on the market, and even some of our other switching systems that we already had on the market.
Nice.
This is new. You're going to like that as well.
All right.
Control 4 for your car.
Imagine that. Imagine that. All right, here's what we're going to do. Here's the plan. We're going to let you go ahead and do your presentation. And when you come back, maybe we can play with some of the boxes and see what's going on inside that. And we'll take it from there. How's that?
Absolutely. Sounds good.
All right, here you go. Let's set you up, sir.
And we're back.
All right. So you have your presentation ready to go. And you have control, sir. So we will let you on your way.
All right, absolutely. Well, I'll get to it. So real quick, before I jump in, JR Stocks couldn't be with us. He actually is on the road visiting resellers as we speak with a new rep firm in Georgia. And he was going to get on if he could, but he knew he was going to be on the road. But JR Stocks, ex-CEO of Wet Sounds, actually was looking for new opportunities and coming into the summer, called me up, and we spent a good month talking about the brand. He's been very familiar with RACESPORT for a good 10 plus years now, and he was just excited to come, start and build something new with RACESPORT lighting, and felt that he had some skills to bring it to the next level. So we're happy to have JR on, but unfortunately can't be with us today. So real quick, I'm not going to go into the timeline, but I just wanted to give everybody a timeline kind of from the founding of the company in 2007 to now. Obviously, last year, we launched RACESPORTlighting.ca, a Canada-specific website for Canadian resellers to do some B2B business. Trends is on there as an authorized distributor to do some business with. They can basically have their own Canadian dealer portal where they can see Canadian prices and Canadian map and some of the other value-added tools and marketing that they'll need to do business with us in RACESPORT. And of course, we'll get into it here in a second, but you'll see in 2022 the launch of our new patented solar cab roof light system. Again, just kind of talking about RACESPORT lighting in Canada. Our website, again, it is B2B only. Our whole business plan is we don't sell to consumers, and so we find a lot of times when we have competitors in the lighting category, they seem to have a direct to consumer thing, and then a lot of times they like to work backwards and see if they can get some B2B wholesale business too. Our whole business has been built off the distributor dealer relationship to the consumer, and so of course our website's going to be built for the reseller to be successful. And so for resellers watching it, if they haven't been to RACESPORTlighting.ca and signed up for the dealer portal is in the upper right hand corner. You can go ahead and click on that and you can register as a dealer as well. And that gets us into what's new this year and coming up in the new year. And right away, Ben, we're going to get into that patented solar powered cab light system. So the story on this is that we had a R&D guy here that we were getting demand from our resellers to have a cab light system. And so I went to him, I said, hey, we have to, get something developed here, and we have to deliver on this demand. And he came from a customization shop that actually installed cab lights and stopped. And the reason they stopped was they were selling some wired versions, and not even cheap Amazon versions, like from companies that are supposed to have some good wired versions. And he was a tech there, and he actually was responsible for drilling 5 holes into people's $80,000-$90,000 trucks and installing these and spending half to a full day installing a cab light system, and then sealing it to make sure that the shop he was working for did not suffer serious liability or leakage into the roof. So when I told him that, he said, we need to stay away from this product. And I was like, we got to come up with something that is a solution to this problem, because, it can't just be the top model trucks that have cab lights. The majority of the vehicles on the road, the F-150s, F-250s, or the 1500s and 2500s, they're not coming with these, and they should. And people that own trucks, they want them. And so we got to have a solution. And so in doing so, that's really where this patented solution came out, where there's no drilling, no holes, no wiring. This is a complete industry solution. that can install in about 20 minutes. So the kit, they come with 5 clearance lights, and they do install with a heavy-duty Tessa automotive-grade adhesive mounting. So when these things are on and you've prepped the surface properly, they're not coming off without a heat gun, but no holes, which is key. They're solar powered, so they're continually being recharged, and that cell is continually staying charged, and running the product with the solar cells on the top, which nobody even sees the solar cells because it's the top of the product. So each of these lights put out 60 raw lumens within itself. Now listen, cab lights, there's a particular amount of brightness you want, but this isn't like headlights or light bars where you want them completely blinding bright. So there's a particular lumen for SAE and DOT that you want to stay within, and so this reaches the top max of those specs, which is bright, but not too bright where it's a problem. So they're dialed in just perfectly. But the key is, and the big question is, as we've been showing this off at trade shows, is how does this thing turn on if it's not wired? I understand that it's powered, but how does it know when to turn on and off? And that's where the patent solution, these run off vibration sensor technology. So there's actually vibration sensors in here that we actually have them dialed into a particular PSI level that matches up with when you start the vehicle and it reaches that PSI, it actually turns the circuit on and turns the lights on. And then obviously that leads to the next question that people always ask at a trade show is, okay, I understand that, but how's it turn off then? Well, same circuit. Once that PSI drops below the set level, or it senses that the vehicle's been shut off after 45 to 60 seconds, the IC chip says it's time to shut the circuit off, and they shut off. It also has a light level sensor in it, and so if you're out in the middle of the day, this thing's more in a charging mode, but as soon as the light starts to dim and it gets towards nighttime, it senses it's time to get to work. And as long as that vibration sensor is on, that AND circuit sees low light level, it sees vibration. These are running through the night. So a really neat solution product. You'll see there's 2 SKUs in here. The amber version is the 1007472. That is released shipping. We even pre-sold these throughout the year. When they came out, we had back orders that exceeded our entire production. We had to go to second production right away. So that was great. It was a good launch. Right now we are in the middle of finishing up some testing on the white version, because that was really what came out of it. Was everyone's like, hey, I love the product, but I want white. And so we had to dial it in. So there's obviously a diode change, a little resistance change. So actually we ended up having to put a different IC chip in here, which is what they're testing right now. So once that should be launched, probably we're hoping for around SEMA show, which is, taking a look at the date, just a little under 2 months here. So that's looking good. Now this slide, it's really showing a lot of the same things. We kind of have a diagram here to the right. You'll see there's a power switch on there, and that's usually the big question out the gate is, do I have to hit this power switch every time? And the answer is no. So obviously when we ship the product, if we shipped it without some type of activation circuit, it would be going on and off inside a box with no solar charging, and so you would receive a low or dry cell. So we keep the cells charged out of the factory, and then that power switch, after they install the 5 cab lights on top of the vehicle, they'll actually hit that one-time power switch, and that will activate the circuit for the first time, and then the product itself will pretty much keep itself self-charged from that point on. So you'll see a couple other the features on there. This is made in the USA. We make this at an ISO 9000 factory. That's actually a tier 1 and 2 supplier to Ford, Chrysler, and GM. in Michigan. And so they are used to making products at a quality level that last the life of the vehicle. And so they actually are molding the housing and the silicone resistant shell on the top and doing the full assembly for us. So this is a very high quality piece. It's patented, it's exclusive with RACESPORT lighting, and it's most importantly, it's a solution. If resellers have been staying away from cab clearance lights for the very reason we developed this, and aren't in this business, they can now be in this business very easily and very confidently. Or for resellers that are doing wired versions and are doing it, they can now have a piece in stock that takes away their liability, and their techs can get installed in 20 to 30 minutes and move on to the next component or job, and not get them tied up in the bay for half the full day to install a wired version. So it's a fabulous solution. Do you have any questions, Ben? All right, I'll move on.
You know what? We're going to save our questions, Grant and I, until the very end. How's that, Steve?
All right, excellent. Just
Very
wanted
cool.
to make sure. I didn't know if you had anything in between. So
we do.
I'll just keep rolling. I'll keep rolling through, man.
You got it, buddy.
All right, so we are going to move on to our patented Gen 4 LED headlights, which we have, briefly talked about on a CMA before, but we have added some patents to it. This thing has some very, very unique solutions. This is what we would call the absolute highest performance LED headlight kit on the marketplace today. It has some unique patented features. The performance on this is fabulous. This is definitely a kit. If you are a reseller that sells the best of the best in each category, there's no reason why you shouldn't be carrying the Gen 4 LED headlight in Canada, especially in Canada, where obviously the environments and some of the conditions can be a little bit more harsh and severe. You're going to want a high performance kit out there, have to feel confident behind the installation. So you see a couple of the features here. I'm not actually going to go through them on this slide because I have another slide where we actually talk about these features in a little bit more detail and you can see them. But I will move on to that slide. And so you can see the patented solutions in the upper left. There's no fitment issues on this product. It has perfect projection. It's installer friendly. It's perfect for aiming and making sure the light is specifically on the road where it needs to be, and with no road glare onto oncoming traffic. And so that's what we're going to talk about, is these 4 patented features. And so the first one is the anti-glare focus cups. And so you can see that there's a patented design that we put over the tower body in a specific direction over the circuit array. And so you can see that the way that is, if you could picture it, when you lock it in the left and right side and use the ratchet, those anti-glare cups come over and they keep the road directly, or keep the light directly on the road where it needs to be, and it keeps it from glaring out into oncoming traffic and side lanes and things like that. So that's the first feature of the patent. Now, the Zest chip diode technology is a patent feature that's specifically about the array and how it works with the anti-glare focus cups. And so a lot of times you'll see an array very similar like this, even with competitor kits, but not with that anti-glare focus cup and how it's set up. And so that is specific for our aiming and our projection and how our lights work. Now, going to the bottom, you're going to see something that's some of the more exciting things that I think people can see very easily is the ratchet style clockable base. And so just like a socket or a ratchet, this headlight, when you lock it in, if the light comes into the lens and it's not in the perfect position, you're able to actually grab the back of the bulb and ratchet, click, 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 and actually lock that bulb in the perfect array and aiming when you're setting up and installing our LED headlight kits on the Gen 4. So what's nice about that is you'll see some, a lot of resellers that have done LED headlights on here have probably actually seen or experienced some kits where it wasn't aimed right, and they ended up having to pull the bulb back out of the vehicle. Maybe it has name adjusts, maybe it doesn't. If it does, it usually has like a Allen key that they have to dial it in, and then they have to put it back in, and maybe it's still not aligned again, and they have to pull it back out. It can be quite time consuming and frustrating, especially based on the vehicle and how easy it is to get to the bulb access. Where once you lock this in, you don't have to pull the bulb back out. You can do all the adjusting from the back of the bulb with the ratchet style clockable base. Now, one of the big concerns with LED headlight kits, and it's getting better, but is fitment, and having some type of heat sink or fan system or some type of obstruction on the back that actually does not fit on a lot of newer vehicles because of the shallow features of the cap or the ceiling cap on the headlight. So what's nice about this is we actually use what we call, our nickname is the Medusa, but it's really a copper tin style rope that's basically acts as the heat sink and does all the dissipating. The great thing about the ropes is they could be spread any direction, 360 degrees. They can mold around the back of a lens, and they really give you a zero clearance fitment where you can fit these in anything. And so there's a lot of really unique solutions on here that we've learned from other series that we sell. And this is really the Gen 4. We were like, let's take everything and solve everything in one kit and make sure that we put patents on it and it's the best of the best on the marketplace. Now, we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're pretty excited about this new 8-gang 80 amp wireless control system, which we call a Lightning series. Now, we have other 6 and 8 gang systems that are in our lineup and have been selling well for a couple of years now. What's different about this is those are all wired. And so ultimately the brain is usually mounted somewhere in the vehicle away from the control. That's where all the wiring happens. And then they have to run the cable through the firewall and through the dash and ultimately to a controller wherever they're mounting the controller. And that controller is not leaving the vehicle. It's usually staying mounted where it is. We actually have one of our buying groups that we're preferred lighting vendor of come to us and say, hey, we have an opportunity because they had another vendor that specifically only did control systems. That's all they did. They weren't even a lighting company. And they had some quality issues and some supply issues, and they said they're out of the group. We use your wired versions right now to kind of make up for that, but we really want a wireless version because we've got some feedback that some of these newer vehicles going through the firewall isn't so easy anymore. So we want something that's really install friendly, that's wireless, and we have users that have given us feedback that they'd like to bring the control outside of the vehicle at a show and show things off, sometimes from a distance. And so we developed this heavy duty grade 8-gang 80 amp wireless control system. There's a couple things about that. You can control 8 lighting devices or any 12 volt devices for that matter off of this. And we're kind of going to take a look at some other slides where we'll look at that a little closer about what the amperage is on each of the channels. But one of the key features is this is 80 amps. So if you take a look at a lot of the control systems that are out there in the marketplace, you're going to see a lot of 50 amp, 60 amp things out on the marketplace. Now, for most lighting systems, that's decently sufficient, or after they connect all of the outputs to those things in the system, it gets very close to maxing the whole circuit out. So we amp this up to 80 amps because we actually tested and mimicked some systems that could be realistic on commercial snow plows or vehicles in which they would exceed 50 amps and be more close to 65 to 75 amps. in which case a lot of the stuff on the marketplace would actually blow the breaker or the fuse. So this is an upgraded 80 amp version. And I'm actually going to move on to the next slide to give you a little bit. It comes with the 80 amp circuit breaker. We provide the 8 gauge power cables with it. The wireless controller does have a C-type USB charger, so very common type of charger. Now it does come with that USB cable, but if you lose it, misplace it, obviously that C-type is very universal at this point with a lot of the cell phone systems, and you can use those to actually charge the control device. So the next PowerPoint is really neat because actually these are just some live pictures that were recently taken. We have a local reseller that's actually building a Can-Am for us right now that's going to go out on the trade show circuit over the next 2 years that you'll see. And that, of course, we wanted to put this very system into that ATV. And so we're running the entire ATV off of this control system. And so I told them, hey, let's take some pictures. So we have some good demonstrations here. But you can see there's basically 8 outputs. You're going to have 2 30 amp outputs. You're going to have 2 20 amp outputs, 2 10s, and 2 5s. I mean, this is a perfect solution. It keeps the installation clean, and instead of having to run wires all over the place and multiple products hooked up to the battery with fuses within 6 inches of the battery, this takes all the power from the battery. It has its own control system. Everything centralizes and wires right to the brain, and you can control it wirelessly with the control. And you can see the control on the right now, all 8 of the buttons are actually turned on and activated. And you can see it has LEDs, it has backlit. It also comes with the label sheet that you can customize the control and what you want on each and every button depending on what you have it hooked up to. So it's a perfect solution for trucks, Jeeps, ATV, UTVs, marine, golf carts. And so anything that really has a 12-volt system and you're going to hook multiple lighting systems up to it, it's a great way to control all those systems. Now we're going to move into the P series. So again, another solution-based product that's very exclusive to RACESPORT lighting. So we're going to talk about projectors and projector versus non-projector lenses. And so there's a misconception out there, honestly, even with consumers, unless they've been paying attention, educating themselves, that I can stick any LED headlight kit into any headlight system and it's going to work great. But the fact is, like we've been training for several years, projectors were actually made for HID technology long ago at this point. Doesn't seem like too long ago, but it's a good 15, 20 years ago now. And so HID technology thrives within the projector. And so as LED headlights have come up on the market and taken their own play, obviously there's been issues with resellers trying to put LED systems into projectors and experiencing shadowing, spray lines, marks, and sometimes lack of performance coming out of the projector because they're not actually made for the projector. And so we've always had our Gen 6 high performance lifetime HID kit as that solution. We still do, and that's still a good seller. However, we found that resellers sometimes just still insisted on putting our LED products into the projector, even though we advise that HID is the best technology actually for the projector. And so in doing so, we finally realized we really got to R&D an LED headlight kit that gives the same performance, or at least pretty close to an HID in a specific projector lens. And that's where the P series came up with. So as we really looked at what it's going to take, you'll see that there's a 360-degree, almost LED quartz looking bulb at the end of this. Unlike normal LED kits, which will have a circuit board or a tower body with an array of diodes on each side, they won't work properly in a projector. You might get okay light, or maybe it's acceptable to you, but when the user actually gets on the road and realizes that they might have been better off with halogen or an old HID system that was 15 years old in their vehicle, they usually come back pretty upset. And so if we're going to stick LEDs in, the P series is the only specifically designed solution for projectors. And trust me, there's plenty of competitors that say, oh yeah, our kits work in projectors. Sure. But ultimately, if we really bring that into our test lab and we test the performance features that we do on headlights, and we actually get on road and be real with how it's performing, the P series is the only LED headlight kit that actually performs as good as an HID solution, which is ultimately what projectors were designed for. So it's a great kit, 3-year warranty. It's got CAN bus interface, everything. It's an all-in-one solution for projectors. So you'll see right here, you got a picture of the kit. It's got a nice retail box. Everything comes in there. You'll see some of the lumen and the lux readings. These are specific readings right out of our test lab on our test equipment. So where we measure lumens and we measure lux. And to be honest, in the past, we always were preaching and measuring headlights as lux because it is probably the best reading as far as headlights, because we want to know lux, the measurement coming out of a lens projecting down the road, which is lux. But as we know, there's a lot of competitors that seem to try and sell LED headlight kits on lumens. It gets confusing. And so now we just test, measure, and report both lumens and lux on the LED headlight systems. And so if you're looking for a specific solution for projectors, look no further than the P series. I know they're in stock at Trends, so call Grant if you want some sent to your store today. Now moving on. Now this is another niche solution that, again, not brand new. Early 2022. We might even launch just a little bit late in 2021. We haven't talked about it on CMA. That's our Roadrunner series and our Melt series. These are specific products that not only have optics that keep the light focused on the road, but they have lenses that actually are heated and actually melt ice off of the lens. Obviously in Canada, that's very important, even in the Northern Hemisphere of the United States, even here in Chicago, it gets -40, we get ice, and as everybody knows, especially if you're in a work truck where you need those lights, they get quite diffused, and you lose a lot of lumen and lux when it's caked in a 1/4, 1/8, or even a 1/2 inch of ice over the lens. So these products not only give you some on-road compliant capability with how the optics are aimed, but that heated lens is key to a guy that's actually using them or works with them in winter environments. And so our Roadrunner series, it has several different auxiliary lights, whether it be spot and flood in that lineup. And then it has a whole array of single row stealth light bars that have those specific on-road optics that keep the light straight and to the right instead of blaring off into the left. And so you can use those on road. And so that's key. So again, solutions: no more ice over lights, maintain a perfect optical view, eliminate a blinding effect. You can use them on and off road, and it's got the light output you need for the job. So definitely, if that's what you're looking for fleets, for your own vehicles, for customers that are actually working with their vehicles, call Trends. The Roadrunner series is available in Canada and shipping. Now, something new, this is actually coming out in 2023. This is actually our IQ series. I'm excited about this line. This is an entire lineup of 4 sizes of rounds, 4 sizes of squares, 4 sizes of rectangles, and a couple ovals that we actually use a quad optic system. And so, each of the optics typically will have one diode in there. These actually have 4 diodes in each optic. These are literally about 4 times as much lumen and lux output as some standard series that are out there on the marketplace. The construction is very heavy duty. These things have been tested into extreme colds and extreme heats. This is going to be really nice for commercial fleet work vehicles, guys that really need an extreme amount of light. They need them to work in all conditions. They need them heavy duty construction. This is going to be actually in our Pro Elite series as well, that I'll kind of talk about here in a little bit. But definitely look for our IQ auxiliary lights in 2023. They are extremely bright. Just to give you an idea, like a 4-inch round in a standard in the marketplace, you're looking at probably 2,000 to 4,000 lux on the lux meter. These measured at like over 11,000 lux. So they're intensely bright and have some phenomenal projection on them. So definitely look for these in 2023. I'm not going to give too much about these right now because they're not quite ready to launch yet, but look for them very soon. And that leaves us with our last slide. And that's, what's coming up in 2023. We're going to start separating our line with Pro Elite lighting, in which that's going to be a smaller catalog outside of our full line catalog. That is all of our patented, trademark, niche, heavy duty, professional grade solutions. There's going to be all the products, and they're going to have 3-year up to lifetime warranties. It's going to be our highest performance lighting. It's going to be loaded with products that we actually make right here in the United States. And yeah, there'll probably be an authorized dealer program related to it. And so if you are a high performance, high quality dealer that says that's the type of stuff I deal with on a daily basis, that's my consumer, you're definitely going to want to be a Pro Elite lighting dealer in 2023. And with that, that's what's new at RACESPORT Lighting.
Very, very nice presentation. Thank you so much, Steve. So what we're going to do, we're going to get Grant back here real quick. Let's go ahead and bring Grant back in. And I understand you may have some product that you might want to show before we kind of dive into some deep questions.
Yeah, I brought in a little selection of just the headlight bulb products. I mean, one of the ones that Steve touched on was the P-Series projector lens bulbs. So, I mean, this thing is phenomenal. I've had a few guys put these on their vehicles, and the performance is unreal. You're talking almost 8,000 lux, so 4,000 lux per bulb. It's super bright. The nice thing with it, like he was talking about with the focus on it, is you don't get that bleeding into oncoming traffic. So yeah, it's super bright, but it's not going to be blinding the guy in the oncoming traffic coming towards you. So that's really important. I
want to ask you something, Steve, straight up.
Yeah.
If I'm a shop, the guy's coming in with, and it's a recent model vehicle, right? There is this whole LED bandwagon thing. That's a real thing, right? Everybody says, oh, it's got to be LED because that's the latest and greatest. Now, am I doing the customer an injustice by not servicing that customer with a newer, let's say, RACESPORT HID kit? Or should I be pointing him towards that? Just trying to understand the strategy here.
I'm going to give you 2 answers on that.
Okay.
First of all, the best way to answer that is, what do I put in my vehicles? What do I put in my wife's vehicles? What do I put in my mom's vehicles? Whoever that be in my family. I want to obviously give them the best performance, right? And I don't want them yelling at me. I don't want them telling me the lights aren't as bright as what they have. I want them going, I can see the road very well. These work great. I've had them in my vehicle for 6 years. If they have a projector lens and they have a projector, you better believe we're putting our Gen 6 HID lifetime high performance kit in there, and that's what's in my vehicles right now.
Fair enough.
However, if to talk specifically to the resellers that go, I don't want to do HID, and we don't want to argue with them. The fact is, a good professional grade high performance HID is still the best solution for projectors. However, we just got tired of arguing about it or trying to train on something that someone said, no, I only want to do LED. So you got to have a solution. And for that reseller, the P series is absolutely the only kit I would be selling if a vehicle comes in and has projectors in it. I would say, hey, listen, you can do HIDs. I have an HID solution here, and it's a high performance Gen 6 HID solution from RACESPORT. But I also have the only LED version P series available on the marketplace that are both all-in-one solutions.
Okay. I have two
I think
more.
that's important too, as well, with just like any LED bulb, not all HID bulbs are created equally. So, like you can have a very low cost, low performance HID light bulb in there as well, which this thing will absolutely annihilate.
Right.
I mean, these are phenomenal. The guys that have used these absolutely love them. So it's, you can put an HID in there that's not as good performing as this for sure. But like I said, like to Steve's point, they're Gen 6 stuff for, you got a Dodge Ram and you've gone through a lot of issues with CAN bus and everything like that with Dodge Ram trucks. You put the Gen 6 in there, those issues all go away. It's by far the best selling bulb for, like, Dodge Rams is a perfect example for it.
And my second part to that question is, from an installation technical standpoint, these are ballast free. So you're bypassing the original ballast from the Xenon. This is completely, you could totally not touch that, remove the Xenon bulb, and simply just replace with this P series bulb, correct?
Yeah, this is a plug and play all-in-one solution.
Okay, very, very cool. All right, what else do we have for show and tell?
I mean, well, I brought her to show. Steve came up with Steve and JR came up with a pretty aggressive program for dealers. So what they've done is they've given us a 10% discount on their P series bulbs, their Gen 4s, their V2 series drive bulbs, and their PNP, which is their entry level plug and play series products. We're matching that, so we're doing a 20% off program on like a small quantity, 10 mixed bulbs. So that if you can't do 10 bulbs, I don't know.
Yeah.
You got four different series and 2 of each. You're there. But what they're also doing is for the Gen 4s and the V2 drive series is we're also giving you a countertop display or one of the slap wall displays. So that's like a $300 cost value in addition to it. So Steve and the team have generously given us a discount. We've matched it, so we get a better deal to the dealers. And we'll silent the salesman on your floor with a display in your showroom too. So.
What I've seen, these RACESPORT displays are kind of nice, well fabricated.
Yeah, so we actually make those at 5-axis with Jody. They're a great silent salesperson. They not only either can sit on a counter, he also made them to also be slat wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've seen those. Yeah. What do you got
this
there?
gets a lot of people talking when consumers see this on your display. It's like, what the hell is that, right? Because like all the wires are hanging out. Well, that's then that's an easy way for you to segue into the discussion with the customer about the no heat sink, no fitment issues,
no fan,
all that stuff, no fan, nothing. So that's having it on display is a good conversation piece to get the conversation started. And then the other one that they're doing is the Drive V2 series. So I just brought one of these out as well to show you what it looks like. But these are also on the promo. So like I said, they're up to 20% off on these and a free display. And this one's an actual active display. So you'll blind some people with the quality of the display.
So they can press buttons and blind themselves?
Yeah, you can self-blinding displays.
Got a momentary button on.
Yeah, momentary, of course. Yeah. Steve, what do you got? Oh, there's more. Hold on. I'm sorry.
And one of our most popular ones that we do, it's not part of the program, but the Terminator series, I brought this one out just to show people because I have a testimony of my own to use. My mom does not drive at night. Okay, she's 80 years old. She's got a Nissan Rogue, and when the sun goes down, she doesn't drive. Hell could be freezing over, and she's got to get out of town. If it's dark outside, she ain't going anywhere. So I grabbed a set of these, put them in her vehicle in like 3 minutes, and she drives at night now, no problem. Like she says, it's like.
Well, is that on that vehicle?
The world is open up for her.
Was it halogen originally on that vehicle?
It was original halogen bulbs, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So just by switching these out, and these are inexpensive. Like you can retail these for what a lot of places sell them for, like and make huge margin on them. But the quality is almost awesome. Even on these little Terminator ones, they've got the light focus cup, 2-year warranty on them, and my own testimony of it. My mom wouldn't drive after 5 o'clock at night. Now she's out. I don't know if she's going clubbing or anything, but I hope not.
I've seen videos
That
of a
was awesome.
grandma DJs. That's not her, is it?
That's not her. I hope
Okay,
not.
just checking. Steve, did you have any show and tell for us today?
I did. I at least have one of our solar cab light kits to show off here, and so you can see the retail packaging. You can see some of the, the nice diagrams that you've seen on the slides, and so it really tells the story nice. It has the made in Michigan, USA. It has all the features on there. You can scan that QR code and actually watch our in the garage video on this, which I think we're going to show on.
Yeah, we're going to show in a minute for sure.
Pretty soon, but yeah, I'll go ahead and pull one of these out.
Oh, let's stay on Steve. He's unboxing. Let's stay on Steve.
All their packaging's gorgeous. I mean, it's really nice. It's like iPhone or your Samsung Galaxy type boxing. The unboxing is really nice.
Don't stop, Steve. You're on a roll. Keep going. Let's show us what's in here.
Yeah, no worries. So you get of course, an adhesive promoter. So obviously the prep, even though we use a heavy duty Tessa automotive grade tape, which is really strong, obviously we always recommend doing a promoter as well. So we put that into the package. You have your installation instructions, which you can also download off of the dealer portal right from the product site as well, if you want a digital format. But we do obviously print those out and put those in there as well. And then, of course, you have the actual products. And so you'll see.
Look at that.
I'll do that one-step feature. And so it'll light up, and you'll see the solar panels on the top, that one hit button, which is just the initial activation circuit. And then even while I have this open, I am obviously moving and vibrating a little bit, so they may stay on. But if I were to keep this completely put and not shake and rattle it too much, after 45, 60 seconds, these things would shut off, obviously mimicking when you shut your vehicle off. So yeah, nice product. I'll pull one out and actually let them take a look at that quality there. So if anybody has been buying any cheap wired versions of the solar cab lights, they'll be very familiar that this clearly is not that. So this is all made, molded, and injected right here in the United States by an ISO 9000 factory. So yeah, definitely.
Lie, those are pretty sexy. Those get like a 10 out of 10 score from me from the sexy meter.
Oh, 10 out of 10.
Oh man! First of all, they're super unique, and I haven't looked at those in a long time because like, who the hell wants to drill 5 holes into their cab? Nobody. And yeah, pretty sweet.
You can get some on your truck.
Oh, really? Maybe I do. Maybe I need to request some demo product. I don't know. We'll see. All right. What else do we have? Do you have anything else we want to show, Steve, before we kind of break and get into details?
You know what? I got one more thing. It's a marine product that we're actually working on with a boat builder. I know this isn't about marine. It's a little bit more.
This is why we love having the president on, because he's got access.
Yeah. So we're actually about to produce.
He doesn't have to ask for permission. Show off stuff that's not out yet.
So I got some finger smudges on it, so it's probably not that pretty on camera. But this is actually a very heavy duty 316 marine grade stainless steel docking light that's going to be going OEM on a boat. But this is more than a docking light. This is the industry's first docking and camera. You're going to notice that this actually has a camera. So as it's docking, not only will it have the light, but on the big screens, they'll be able to dock that boat in, and actually they don't have to look to the side of the boat. They'll look right on their screens and watch the boat.
That's the equivalent of a backup cam on a car, but for a boat would be for docking on the side.
Yeah. And the solution with that was one of our old sales managers actually came from a camera company. And so when they had this request, I'm like, I'll design the lighting, you design the camera, and we just brought that together. And actually we were supposed to launch that in 2020 with that boat builder, and then COVID hit and they shut their factory down. They're now running again, and they called us up like a month ago, and they're like, we got to get going on this.
Steve, you got my head spinning, and I don't hold back, so I'm just going to throw it out there. That just gave me like, what about a pickup truck handle backup cam with backup light?
You're not far off on that one. That would be the equivalent in automotive.
For automotive, right? Like they already make the molded handle with backup camera, but how cool would it be to actually have a really bright spotlight for backup, all molded into one piece? Like, I mean, that's exactly what that is.
We have a new product coming out that I can't talk about. Actually, patent.
Well, if he can't talk about it, nobody can.
Nobody else. All right, fair enough.
But I'm smiling because
Okay.
you're going where we're already at.
All right. Fair enough.
We'll talk
Fair
about
enough.
that probably in 6 months.
All right. Well, we'll have you back for that for sure. All right. I'll tell you what. Let's give you a break. We got a video. Steve mentioned it. It's a little bit of a workshop video with regards to that new cab lighting system. So we get a deeper dive and get you guys a better view of what that looks like. Let's play the tape.
Having marker lights with a simple installation is now possible by RACESPORT lighting, and it's powered by the sun. These new lights from RACESPORT Lighting are awesome. The revolutionary Lowepro Wireless solar-powered truck cab LED lights are a patented product, and they are the first kind on the market. These cab lights have a bright LED light housed in a shock-resistant silicone shell for a great-looking light that performs well too. All you have to do is turn the light on, stick it to the truck, and the light will do the rest. These lights install with strong 3M tape so you know they're going to stay in place. And that's not the best part. These lights are completely wireless. There is no drilling, no holes, and no worry of water leaking and causing rust or corrosion. These lights are solar-powered with built-in panels. And there is no worry about using them in the dark, as these lights have a built-in 8-hour backup battery to store the energy for nighttime use. These RACESPORT lights have a built-in dusk-dawn sensor to automatically come on when the lights sense the right lighting conditions. They will automatically come on when they feel the truck in motion. Then, when the vehicle is stopped for 1 to 2 minutes, they shut off automatically. These lights are easy to install, simple to operate, and are a fantastic addition to any truck or Jeep. If you're interested in purchasing the Lowepro Wireless solar-powered truck cab LED light system by RACESPORT Lighting, or looking to have one installed, check out the dealer locator below. And subscribe for new product videos every week. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time on In the Garage.
All right. I got to say something. First of all, that level of install is Ben friendly. I just want to say that, put that out there right now. I don't even know if you can call it 12-volt install. It's more like a sticker job than anything else, because there's no wirings at all whatsoever. The second thing is it me, or does it feel like when a truck has those cab lights, it feels higher end, like a more expensive truck?
It does. I mean, guys with trucks that don't have the top version, they want to buy all the aftermarket accessories and make their truck look like the high country model.
It really is, because only the high models have that feature.
Yeah, from
factory, right? I don't know, Grant. What do you think?
I think it's awesome. I was going to ask one of the questions I was going to ask is, these newer vehicles will stop start when the engine turns off. Does it turn the lights off? But it answers the question there. It's got a 60-second or 120
seconds
timer on
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And one thing I wanted to highlight, which I know you said, but I want to bravo to RACESPORT for having products made in the USA. I mean, in the lighting business, man, you'd be hard pressed to find any lighting that's made in the USA. Never mind aftermarket stuff like you guys are engineering and developing. So I want to give you a hats off for that one. Tip of the hat.
Yeah, there's no US lights in the Richmond night market. I can tell you that.
Richmond night market.
I mean, since 2020, we've been wanting to do more and more in the United States, and we're realizing it does. These products do cost a little bit more than products that we can make at our factory overseas, but we want to do more of it, and we're finding that resellers that can appreciate high quality and performance and want the best for their customers, they're willing to pay for that. And so you should be seeing more and more made in USA products.
Really?
Absolutely.
Exciting. Very exciting. Real quick touch on the G4. Grant has showed them, and in person they look so weird, right? Like they catch your attention. Like there's nothing else that looks like that bulb. And you're right, Grant. It is a style, but it's a great talking point. The customer's never seen anything like that. You don't know about the Medusa. It's that talking point that really separates you. So, in your words, Steve, what are one of the two main features from a sales perspective in that conversation with the customer, as far as your patents are concerned, that really stand out in helping making that sale to the G4?
So what are the main two out of the four?
Yeah, that you would choose, that you would say, these are two things.
It's definitely the Medusa heat sink is the number one. Like even resellers that have already been selling this product, like that is the number one thing. Even if they forget that it's called Gen 4, they're like, yeah, the Medusa bulbs, like that's what.
Yeah, some resellers have had problems with fans and stuff like that, and they're really gun shy about that. And people we've shown this to, it's like turns the light bulb back on again. Like, oh, I don't have to worry about fans or heat sinks or anything like that.
And they're pliable, so they fit into any.
Yeah, you can put that anywhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's the second point, Steve?
And then the second is definitely the ratchetable aiming device on there. It's very smooth. It's very easy for the installers. They're never taking the bulbs back in and out and installing them. Installers love it because they put them in once, and if they're doing their job and they're aiming the lights, it's very normal that typically the lights are not 100% dialed in, and so to be able to make those small degree adjustments with the ratchet style, they love it.
All right. I was going to get into the projector lights, but I think we already covered that. And the question was, again, the process between, replacement high performance xenon or that LED option with the P. But if you're going to do projector LEDs, this seems to be the solution for you. Absolutely. Lastly, I saved this for the end, and let's talk a little bit about that 8-gang switch. So that thing right there, again, is very Ben friendly because it doesn't involve passing a wire between the control unit and the remote, right? It is wireless. Have you ever tested distance on that, Steve? How far you can get away
with? So we actually had it in the back of our warehouse and walked through the entire building and went out to the front of the parking lot. It's a pretty long building. I guess it's probably almost 1,000 feet I walked, and it was still working. I was literally on the phone like, is it still on? And shutting on and off, they're like perfectly. I haven't even
perfect for locomotive training.
I don't even know what the max distance is, but I know it can go up to 1,000 feet away from
Wow, that's great.
It's got a great transmitter and receiver in it.
So that thing there, I mean, the list of applications is, I mean, really up to the technician or the fabricator to really play with. But it's an all-in-one, all-housed, weatherproof switching system that you can grow with. You can start with 2 or 3 and continuously add to it. I also love the fact that you have different decals to customize the interface. That's kind of reminiscent of all the. We didn't talk about this, but man, RACESPORT's got a ton of switches too. If you guys are into switches, check out the RACESPORT selection on switches. They've got a switch for everything. You want to go kill zombies? They probably have a zombie killing switch.
They have a zombie light switch for sure.
I knew it. See, I knew it. They have a zombie switch. I knew they do it. Why wouldn't they?
And just so you know, from last year, you said you should create a zombie Jeep package.
Yes.
Again, I can't talk about it yet, but there is a zombie full Jeep package coming out. It's like a full suite package for Jeeps. It's called the Zombie King package.
That comes with machine guns and axes and stuff.
It should. There should be. Why
I just told your story the other day to the team. I said, this is from Ben.
Yeah.
I wanted a zombie package.
Yeah, and if I was building a Jeep, it'd be a zombie apocalypse, survival machine. There's no doubt about it.
Yep.
But back to that 8-gang, I wondered at first, I said, man, maybe there should be a mini 8-4-gang version, a little bit more price, a lot of, maybe 8 is a lot for some applications. Like if you're thinking like power sports, for example, if I'm running a side-by-side, I don't know if I can get to 8, to be honest with you. Maybe something in the future.
You got a whip, you got a front LED, you got rear LED, you got interior LEDs, you might have audio speakers with LEDs lighting into it.
I could tell you on our Can-Am, actually 8 wasn't enough.
Really?
So the Can-Am already had 7 rockers in it.
Right.
2 of them we had to use for other lights, and then we had to put an interior switch in as well.
Fair enough.
And then we actually doubled up on the system, and JBL actually gave us some free speakers to put in that Can-Am, and we had another switch for that. And then between the whips, the strobe lights, everything that's on the Can-Am, we actually 8 wasn't enough.
You could also use that if you want to on-off a sound system or a sound bar or something, or so on and so forth. So okay.
And I can tell you the dealer that's local that put that in, they do a lot of boats, they do a lot of ATVs. They actually don't do a ton of vehicles, even though they used to. They've kind of gravitated to the power sports and marine industries. yeah, the installer Augie was like, I think I'm going to put these in every install from now on when I do lighting, because
what's your other option? It's whatever.
Yeah, well, he's really good at making harnesses, but he's like, I get tired of running them all over the place. I could just have this brain. He goes, this thing is sweet, man.
No doubt about it.
And it's a very high quality custom piece, so it does cost a little bit more than some of the inexpensive modules on there, but it does so much more. It's got so much more amperage. It's got the wireless remote. It can go 1,000+ feet away. And you got all those label sheets and to customize the controllers. There's a lot of cool features on it that are worth a couple extra bucks.
No doubt about it. That's all I got, Grant. You got anything else?
No, my Russell Peters mind blasted.
Beautiful. On that note, Steve, we will have you on our CMA Live, so definitely tune into that. And again, thank you so much for coming in today. I'm gonna say bye for now, and look forward to circling back with you a couple months from now. See what other secret projects are on the go.
I'm always here for you.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much for coming in, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Talk to you soon, buddy.
Have a good one, guys.
All right, Grant, let's well, first of all, let me put up some numbers here. If you're interested in finding more about RACESPORT lighting products, here's the website. Check it out, racesportinc.com. Now, Steve did mention a Canadian one as well. We put up the
.ca one where the pricing's all in Canadian dollars.
So you do have the .ca as well. Either way, you're going to get all the tech specs and all that stuff on that website. If you're in Canada, well, get a hold of Grant and his crew, his squad, over at trendsinc.com. All right. That's a good one, Grant. I want to wish you a happy lighting season, and hopefully we get more customers trying out this RACESPORT stuff, and I think they're going to be pretty satisfied with what I see here.
That promo should help things out. It's more profit.
Let's repeat that promo one more time. What's the promo going on?
So the Gen 4s, the P series projectors, the Drive V2 series, and the PMP, the entry-level plug-and-play product. You want to try that Richmond Night Market stuff? I'll put this up against it, and it'll smoke it.
Okay, I need to clarify. Hold on. Outside of BC, people have no idea what Richmond Night Market is, so I'm going to tell people it is a very flea market style, outdoor kind of activity.
Asian flea market. So everyone their dog.
Hold on. Amazing food options.
Oh, that's what it's a big food court.
It's a food court, but other vendors have kind of snuck their way in with subpar, goods. But anyhow, yes, that's what Grant's referring to when he's talking about Richmond Night Market. Yeah.
So basically the promo is going to be 20% off on the products, and it's a mixed 10 lot, so easy to do. And then we're also going to give you a display of some sort, whether it's the Gen 4 or the Drive V2s or the PMP series displays included as well. So it's an extra $300 at dealer cost value of it. So it's a good way to get the silent salesman going and get customers that may be in your store for a starter or for an audio system talking about another possible thing you can sell them.
Get a hold of your Trends rep, give Grant a call the head office, email them, and they'll get you connected with his deal. There it is again, trendsinc.com. On that note, sir, thank you so much. Good seeing you again, Grant.
Thanks, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right, so want to remind you that obviously we're talking about lighting, and lighting is going to be the topic of conversation continuously until September 23rd. Right through, because we are doing the lighting system sessions. This is the time of year, guys. Sun is going down early. People are thinking about lighting. Now, got to talk real quick about an amazing contest we have going on. It's called the Ultimate Fab Experience Giveaway. Here's your chance to win an all-inclusive trip to the MasterTech Expo in Mesa, Arizona next year. CMAnetworks.com/giveaway. It's just a form. Sign up. It's free. CMAnetworks.com/giveaway. While you're there, make sure you check out all our great videos. Tons of videos that we've done with Grant and Trends, as well as with not Brights, but RACESPORT Lighting and Steve. Check that out. We have a whole playlist there for you guys to check out. That's it for this CMA Showcase presented by SiriusXM. Thanks for hanging in there. I'll see you on the next one. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
just thinking, I mean, yeah, let's talk about
Stop
today where I'm gonna go
Yo,
topics.
roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to SiriusXM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on SiriusXM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?